Hello, this is going to be a technical demo showcasing Retrospect Virtual's capability of backing up Exchange databases as well as Exchange mailboxes within a virtual environment. So for starters, what you will need to do is to install the Retrospect Virtual Host server software on the Exchange server that you plan on protecting. And to be able to install that, the first thing you'll need to do is launch a browser and go to and type in the IP address of the management console server so that you can download the installer. So once you have installed, or once you have logged into the management console, you want to click on this blue button to be able to download the virtual host server software. I've already have it installed on the system, so I do not need to go through and reinstall it. But once it is installed, you will launch the virtual host server software, and then you'll log in with a user account that you have given add-on privileges to be able to back up the Exchange databases and mailboxes. So once you're logged in, what you'll need to do is create a backup set, a specific backup set type that allows you to back up Exchange databases or mailboxes. So as you can see, I have several different options. There are several different backup sets already created. Here's an Exchange database backup set, and then an Exchange mailbox backup set. Creating one is straightforward. After you click on Add, you can name the backup set however you want. And then for the backup set type, you would change it to MS Exchange Server Backup. And then the drop-down menu here will allow you to choose what version of Exchange you want to protect. Once you have chosen that version, you can click Next. And then it will give you a list view of what databases are on the server that you can protect. So you can either choose the entire server to back up all of the available databases, or you can just choose a specific database that you may want to back up. Once you've done that, you can click on Next. And in the next window, you'll see we have a default schedule already set up, and it's turned on by default. So by default, it will do a weekly backup of the database, and then a weekly backup of just backing up the transaction logs. So as you can see, it'll back up once on Friday, and then for the rest of the week, Monday through Thursday, it will do a transaction log backup. And also, you can delete these and add your own if you wish. And once you click on Next, this is where you can set up the storage destination for the Exchange backup. So you can choose to back up to your management console, or you can choose to back up to a cloud service or to a local or map drive. I'm going to choose a local drive. And then here is where you can give it the specific path to save it to. And then once you select that path and click OK, then you would click on Next. And here you can have encryption turned on for your backup set. You can leave the default, which is AES, or you can go to Custom and choose DES or Twofish. Usually the default should be good enough. Just for the sake, I'm going to turn it off. And then when you click on Next, this will be the Windows user authentication that you'll use to authenticate with Exchange. So this should be an administrator account that has privileges to the Exchange server. And then once you log in, it will have created the backup set. And then you can click on Backup Now if you wish to run a full backup of your database at that time. I'm going to go ahead and delete this backup set since I don't need it and already have one. But once it's created, you can go back through here and change various options if you want to either back up a different database or change your backup schedule. And then once it's been created and a backup is ran, you'll see under Reports the Exchange database backups. As you can see, I have several here, and you can take a look at them to see why they may have failed. So for example, this one failed because the VSS Exchange writer was in a weird state. I just had to reboot the server, and that cleared the problem. But you can also look at a successful one, and you can see in the log that It will give a list view of what it did and that it was successful. So for restores are straightforward. If you needed to do a restore of the Exchange database, you would click on restore, and then you would choose if you had a destination pool of multiple destinations, you could have several different options here, but since I only set up to backup to a local storage, that's my only option. So when you click on it, it will give you a list of what databases are backed up to that backup set, and then you can, as you can see, you can choose a particular date if you have more than one date. And since I've only backed it up a couple times on the same day, that's why there's only one choice for me. Or you can choose several different times that the backup is ran from. And then once you expand it, you'll see here that it will list all the log files as well as the check file and that it will be restoring. So once you choose the database, you can click next. And then here you can either do original or alternate location. If you choose alternate location, you can choose a specific backup or a specific database name to restore to, so it'll be an exact copy of the database you're restoring. And you can also choose what path, or by original location, it will just restore to the original location of the database. And then here is where the restore would stage the files for the database that it's restoring. And then as soon as you've changed that destination, if you need to change it, you can click on restore, and it will go through the restore of that database. Depending on the size of the database and how many log files you have, that can take some time, so I'm not going to go through an actual restore. And from there, I am going to move on to Exchange Mailbox Protection. Exchange Mailbox Protection is just as straightforward. You would go to backup sets, and when you go to add a backup set, you would change the type to Exchange Mail Level Backup, and you would give the backup set name what the name that you would want. And again, you can select specific Exchange server, the specific version of Exchange that you're going to be backing up. As you can see, Exchange 2016 is not listed here. We are using Mappy to back up the Exchange mailboxes, and Mappy no longer works with Exchange Server 2016. So once you choose the version of Exchange that you have, click on Next. And then here it'll show your server, and then it'll show your mailbox store, and then if you have a public folder store, it'll show that as well. I don't have a public folder store set up on this server, so it doesn't show anything. If I expand to mailbox store, you'll see all of the individual mailboxes that have been created. And as you can see, I have several here, so you can either choose the entire store to back up all the mailboxes, or if you just wanted to back up one particular mailbox, or even if you wanted to back up one particular portion of a mailbox, you could back up, say, just a calendar, contacts, a particular folder. So there's a lot of different options for you to choose here. Once you've chosen what you want to back up, you'll click Next, and then here a default schedule is set. You can add or remove the schedule if you want to change it, or if you want to add your own custom one, you could do so here. And you click on Next. This is where you're going to set up the destination. You do sequential or concurrent backups. It's the same as what you can do with the Exchange database. And then here you can either back up to the management console server if you wanted to, or if you wanted to back up to local storage or cloud, you could do so as well. And choose local. And here you can set the specific path to back up to. And then next, again, you can set up encryption if you want. It's the same encryption options as the database, where you could do AES, DES. So you can, the default's typically good enough as that's AES 256. I'm just going to turn it off for the sake of this. And then here is going to be a user account that you're going to want to use that has specific permissions to be able to access and back up Exchange mailboxes. We have documentation on our website in our Exchange Retrospect Virtual Exchange documentation, and that will show you how to set up a user account to be able to back up mailboxes. So once you give the credentials for that user, you click next, and the backup set's successful, or the backup set creation is successful, and you can back up now, or you can let it run on its scheduled time. I will go ahead and delete this backup set since I already have one created. And then for restores are very straightforward. When you click on restore, you would go into the Exchange Mail backup, or to your specific backup set that you created. You would choose where it's located. And then from here, you'd be able to choose again what specific times you want to restore from, or dates. And here you can choose to restore either just the entire mailbox, or again, you can just restore specific items within that mailbox if a user just needs, like, say, just calendar items, or just a specific inbox, like a specific folder like inbox, or whatever they would like to restore. And then once you choose what you want to restore, you can click next. And now here you can either choose original location. If you choose original location and the mailbox has all of the mailbox items in it, it will actually not restore items that already exist. So it's just kind of a way to save some time. So if it already exists, it won't restore it again. But if it doesn't exist, then it will just restore what's missing. Or you can choose an alternate location if you want to restore into a different user's mailbox. You could do so. In case maybe something happened to the original mailbox, it's no longer available, you could create a new one and restore into the newly created mailbox. And once you click next, will be the temp storage location for the restore, and this can be changed in case you don't have enough free space on the C drive. And once you click on restore, it'll go through and start restoring the mail items. And then once that's done, you can go log into that mailbox, and you'll see all the items there that were missing. And that concludes the Retrospect Virtual Exchange protection. Again, there'll be more documentation on our website that shows how to configure a user for the Exchange Mailbox backup. Thanks.